This just in. I am a hot slut. And actually the hottest slut of all time. Welcome back to our channel, and today we're talking about one of the most pressing issues of our time. This issue affects millions. It is costing livelihoods, happiness, joy. It's obviously and honestly transphobic and homophobic, this issue, which is oily scalps and overly oily hair. We've had it! Obviously, it's like not one of the biggest pressing, most issues of our time. YouTube, I just like to make jokes about things because if I didn't, I'd be in my mom's basement eating Pop-Tarts and powdered donuts for the rest of my life. But let's talk about oily scalps and how to take care of them, or just oily hair. 8 ways, let's go. My tits are huge, Oily hair is really like a man-made problem. Almost no one has like naturally like over oily hair. This is the main culprit. It's overwashing. So we need to stop overwashing the hair. How is overwashing the culprit? Let me tell you how. You wash your scalp, and then your scalp says like, oh my gosh, I'm so dry, I need to make oil. So it goes into oil production mode, and it starts making this oil. And then you go to sleep, and then you wake up the next day, and you're like, geez, I just washed my hair yesterday, but it's already oily again. So then you wash it again. Well, then your scalp's like, well, I just made all this oil, but I'm dry again. That wasn't enough, so let me make some more. So then your scalp makes even more oil. And then you wake up the next day, and you're like, geez, my hair is even greasier. So then you wash it. So you see how this cycle gets created, which by the way, like our grandmas were never washing their hair every day. They would go to the salon, they would get their hair set, and they would wear that set for like 3, 5, 7 days, and then they would go get their hair styled again. No one was washing their hair every single day, and that's part of why people's scalps are getting so oily nowadays, because they're just overwashing the scalp. And then the oil glands don't know what to do, so they just are making way too much extra oil. So we gotta stop washing their hair every day. That is the first key. Every other day or twice a week is great. Once a week, that's okay. There is an extreme though, where like if you're going 10 days, 14 days, I think that's too much oil. That is too much buildup on the scalp. So I think the sweet spot is really like 2 times a week. Now, if you really want to change up your style and you're like, you know, I just washed it yesterday, but I did my air dry curls, or I did my curls and I really want to sleep blow dry, you can wash your hair again the next day to achieve that different style. But try to like be minimal about that and make sure you're using really quality formulas in your shampoo and conditioner so you're not drying your hair out. Also, counterproductive, but one of the best ways to get ahead of an oily scalp is by actually applying oil to the scalp. Doing oil treatments to your scalp can help regulate the scalp by hydrating it, by delivering those good, soothing ingredients to the scalp through a hair oil. Like I love JVM pre-wash scalp oil. It's one of my favorites. But there are a lot of other pre-poos or like pre-wash scalp oil treatments that you can do outside of JVN hair that will give you not as good results, if I'm being honest, but they will help to regulate the oil production. So what happens is when you apply oil to the scalp, those oil glands can be like, oh, more of our friends are here. Maybe we don't have to work so hard because actually we're more balanced. You do that for a couple weeks, that's gonna really help regulate how much oil your scalp is making, and it will really help. Like, I know it's counterintuitive and you're like, wait, so applying oil is gonna make my hair less oily? Yes, it will help balance it, will help bring your scalp back into a place of balance so you're not just creating so much excess oil. Our scalps don't get into the situation where they're making so much excess oil overnight, and your scalp isn't gonna get out of that situation overnight. It's not like you're gonna use pre-wash scalp oil once, or you're gonna like wash your hair every other day for like 1 week and then all of a sudden it's totally regulated. I would say it's gonna take about 4 to 8 weeks, depending on how much excess oil your scalp is making, for you to see these tips and tricks start to really make a difference. And what I did when I got into this, because I went through the same thing when I was in my like early 20s, I just learned how to like style my hair up. So when your hair is really oily on that day 2 and the day 3, when you typically would wash, just figure out how to put your hair up, or figure out how to wear like a slick style. So you could put in some gel and kind of brush the hair back if it was shorter. If it's longer, just put your hair up. You can do a low braid, you can do a low bun, you can do a center part, slick it back. Just wear your hair up on day 2 and day 3, and you're gonna get through that 4 to 8 weeks with no sweat. Understanding your wash cycle and your style cycle is a huge thing for regulating an overly oily scalp. So if you have a really oily scalp, on the first day that you wash your hair, don't do like a really overly styled look on day one, or like a style that's gonna require a lot of extra product. If your scalp is really oily, and when you wanna wear your hair up, try to do that on more dirty hair. So as to say, like on day one, if you really wanna do like this like really tight little Kim K, or like very just like ornate, like styled updo, try not to. We want to stay away from putting products like right on the scalp. So if you have to put a bunch of products on day one and then you got to turn around and wash it on day two, that's going to get you back into that like more oil production mode. So really understanding like what your style cycle is, and avoiding products that have a lot of silicones, or avoiding products that have a lot of like harsh sulfates, which really sulfate is a foaming agent. So really you're only going to see sulfates in shampoo. So staying away from shampoos that have a lot of drying qualities to them, or a lot of sodium lauryl sulfates, that's going to make your hair make more oil, or using products for your style that's going to require you to wash it really soon, like day 2 or day 3. Try to save those heavier products for like day 4 or day 5, like when you're going to put your hair up anyway. Understanding dry shampoo. Dry shampoo is a really good tool for regulating an oily scalp, but it's not the only tool, and it's not the only thing that you should use. So that means like, let's not use dry shampoo for 2 weeks straight. Like 1 week is great. So on day 2, day 3, throw a little dry shampoo in there. That's gonna be great. It's gonna absorb the excess oil. I really like the Chlorane dry shampoo. I really love the Chlorane one. I love it in the pump. It's fabulous. Try it out. Typically when you use dry shampoo, you're not gonna spray or pump like right on your scalp and then it's done. I like to hold it like an arm's distance away, so you're not spraying it right here. Like lift up the hair and then spray it like underneath the hair, but like an arm's distance away. And then once it's applied to the scalp, kind of take your fingers and like massage it into the scalp and distribute it so you don't have those like big concentrations of like white powder. So understanding like how to style the dry shampoo and how to work with dry shampoo after you've used it is really important as well. Avoiding overly touching the hair. So obviously we have oil on our hands, and if you're constantly just always touching your hairline, you can get more oil here and you can get a little bit clumpier like around the face. So just trying to like not overly manipulate and touch the hair, especially once you've got like hand cream on and stuff, that's gonna be helpful to make your blow dry and to make the fullness last as long as possible. If you have fringe, or if you have propensity for like the hairline of your hair to look really oily, but not everything else, you can also in the shower, you can't just like only wash your hairline. You could take like a little bit of shampoo and you can put your hair up, but just wash like right here around your face and then rinse that part off. And then like you can do that as well. Making sure that you thoroughly rinse your conditioner out of your hair at the end of your shower, really important. So when I rinse my hair, I'll kind of like lift it up and like this so that I'm just rinsing the underneath, and then I'll put this down. You really want to rinse like section by section and make sure that you're removing all of the conditioner from the hair. Sometimes I think people do leave a little bit conditioner around their scalp, and that can kind of like, if you already have oily hair, you want to make sure that that oil is all the way out of the scalp. But I also would caution, make sure that you're still conditioning your hair, even if you have an oily scalp. Avoid putting the conditioner on your scalp if you feel like that gets you oily faster. But what you don't want to have happen is get really dry ends and then a really oily scalp. Then you're oily up here, you're dry down here. You want to make sure you're still taking care of your hair and applying conditioner through your ends. And if your hair is really fine and prone to oil, try out our Embody shampoo and conditioner. It actually has bamboo in it, which is rich in silica, which is salt, which absorbs oil. So it'll make your hair stay fuller, and it'll make your hair appear fuller and thicker for longer. Also has aloe leaf juice, which is really so nice for the hair, but also you can put it all the way up to your scalp and it won't make your scalp oily, and it will also kind of like how pre-wash scalp oil is going to help moisturize the scalp. You still want to give moisture to the scalp when you're in the shower. Typically our hair makes that much oil because the scalp is dehydrated, so you still want to make sure that you're giving some love to that scalp in the shower by putting some conditioner on there. But I would recommend more of like an Embody conditioner versus like a really heavy conditioner. So try like more of a volumizing conditioner versus like one that's for So making sure that you're shampooing correctly, this is a huge note. So a lot of times I see people really like scrubbing and manipulating the hair. And really that's not where like the oil and the dirtiness is typically in our hair. Typically it's more on our scalp or like back here, like on the nape of your neck or like really in your hairline. It's on the scalp. So when you're washing your hair, make sure that you're really getting in here and you're really working your fingertips all around the scalp to generate that nice lather. I like to take about a minute to wash my scalp. So I'm spending like a good like 20, good 20 seconds up here, good 20 seconds back here, good 20 seconds on here. It's actually like more than a minute. You really just want to take your head into like sections, wash the side, wash the back, wash the crown, wash the front, wash this side. And instead of using your fingernails, you're really using like the pads of your fingers. And I also do love a double wash. If I am only washing once a week and I've really just applied a lot of dry shampoo, I've restyled my hair a lot, I'll do a double cleanse. Just making sure that you're really clarifying that scalp, using the pads of your fingers, and then doing a thorough rinse before you apply your conditioner, and you're good to go. Making sure that your brushes are clean is really important. So obviously as we brush our hair when it's dirty or when we're using a lot of products, we can get oil and build up on the brush themselves. And then as you're brushing that through, you can reapply that to the scalp, even on like clean hair. So once a week, once every other week, you want to fill up a tub with some warm soapy water. First, you want to take a wide tooth comb and get all of the hair out of your brushes. So remove all that nasty old hair, remove it. Then you can soak it in that nice soapy or shampoo-y warm water. Take like a nice dish brush, but like a new one, not one that's been used in food, and just scrub that brush clean using like a dish brush. And you can just rinse it thoroughly and then let it sit to dry or pat it dry. Do that once a week. You want to make sure that you're keeping your brushes nice and clean. If your hair is oily, that means that you want to probably introduce a little bit more volume into the root of your hair than making it super sleek. So metal round brushes are going to tend to seal the hair more. I tend to like metal because my hair is curly and I want to really like slick my hair down. But if your hair is more oily and you want to create more fullness, a boar bristle brush would be better, or just like avoiding metal. Bending your hair upside down when you're drying the hair to encourage more volume is going to be helpful. And then also taking that concentrator or like the nozzle off your blow dryer and just using the blow dryer without a nozzle, that's going to help to make the hair a little bit puffier and fuller, and it won't like seal it down as much. And that's typically going to be more of your friend if you have oily prone scalp. Thank you for coming to my oily hair and scalp TED Talk. We love you so much. We'll see you next time on the channel. We have so many more videos where this came from. Go grab a snack, tell YouTube you're still watching, and come back and watch another video. We love you so much. Thanks for coming. We love you, YouTube. Bye.